been practising.
Nothing's changed.
I'm beyond caring. Welcome to episode 1. Did I get it right?
We did.
Yes.
Even I can do that one.
Episode... What? Fucking hell. Why don't you move the camera?
Breaking the wall.
We have less than 20 minutes to record this. We don't have time.
Am I in?
Break
Start
the walls down.
Just move the camera.
It's episode 1
Thanks.
of season 2.
3.
3. of... I was going to say something wrong then. Of bragging rights.
Bloke in a... bragging rights. God, I hate this podcast.
I woke up early to do this.
It's 6 o'clock.
I'm on nights.
All right, fair enough.
As he sips his beer.
Yeah.
I'm too
You
old
have
for
to
this
work
shit.
after this?
No.
No. Okay. Everyone had a good... What shall we start with? Christmas.
Off-season.
Yeah, just off-season then in general.
I look like I have.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, you was.
No, well, I won't, because I do as well.
Yeah, but you've got an excuse.
I don't feel quite
You can't-
compact in here.
You had a good Christmas?
Yeah,
Santa bring you everything you wanted?
pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Take the kids away?
No,
Didn't do everything right then, did he?
It's not a miracle worker.
I know.
They can visit every house in the world in one night, but it's not a miracle worker.
Fair. Josh, good Christmas?
Yes, thank you.
It feels real weird asking because it's like 20th of January, but
I went to New York, I came back, it was
26th.
Christmas, I blinked, and then we're doing this again, and I feel like January is the longest year ever.
That is correct.
it is.
But we're back, and that's what matters.
We are back.
Hopefully we'll get better at starting as the season goes on.
We will.
Yeah, we'll get used to it again.
We are only 55 minutes late starting, so I'm not mad
for the
about
people that have been with us for the full 3 years, you realise and remember from last year that episode 1 was crap then as well. So we get better as the year goes on.
Bear with us.
Quick couple of thank yous. Firstly to Comscaf, who have sponsored us again for the full season as the main title sponsor, and we have a new sponsor, GN Carpets and Flooring. They're sponsoring us because we're going to start doing some little shorts and stuff on Instagram, and not like shorts as in leg wear, but like reels.
Josh
on
had
Instagram.
little shorts and was like, oh, right up my street.
Josh loves a pair of little shorts, don't you?
His little eyes opened up wide.
I
then,
can't
didn't
even deny that. I've always loved a little short.
And lastly, obviously, because I get told off if I don't do this one because we're sat here, Tribal for once again letting us doss around and squat on a Monday night. Yeah. I'm going to pass on to Dean because it's FC first. Don't know why.
they? Because we both lost.
Well, yeah.
I think
Not that it matters.
It's the only chance you'll get to go first this year.
no, because
I know we're going to change the rules.
we're changing the rules because quite rightly, I think a lot of FC fans were tuning out last year because you lot were just winning every week and just everything. So we're just going to alternate now, aren't we? FC one week,
Yeah.
Rovers the next week. We'll do it that way. It's easier.
Doesn't matter, the FC fans are still going to skip 20-25 minutes when Rovers side's on anyways, so it doesn't matter whether
I
we're
even
first
do
or
it.
second.
I mean, if
And
they
I
carry on
record
the
it.
way they've been the last few years, the
you bet
FC
it
fans
was.
are going to skip 20-25 minutes of the FC section.
Well, we'll
That's
see.
just not true. I can't wait to see the KC Stadium half empty 30 minutes in after Brisbane have put 50 points past you.
I don't think the whole nightlife's that good that the Aussies are going to leave just to go out. Especially when the team are winning, mate. I can't see it.
It'll be middle of February, it'll be cold as well, they won't be used to it, will they?
Freezing.
Yeah.
Sorry, gents. Please go on. Tell us all about the Hull FCs.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go. And I know you didn't go because you was slightly delayed in Poland yesterday,
I
so...
was stuck in a foggy Krakow airport.
Yeah, spoke to a few people regarding it, to be honest. Well, we'll talk about the Huddersfield game, we'll touch on it. And firstly, congratulations to Brad Fass on his celebrating his testimonial game yesterday, so well done to him. It just seemed like it was a typical pre-season game by all accounts. It was get some minutes into the legs. A couple of the new lads got some games, but a lot of youngsters got some minutes as well. And yeah, I never read anything into pre-season. It is literally just what I said, getting minutes into the legs, and yeah,
It's the main thing,
blow him
innit?
off them cobwebs, isn't it?
Even if it's a testimonial, you've still got to prep for the season, haven't you? And
Yeah.
you'd love it, as a player, if it's your testimonial, you'd love it if you could have the full team out, or even if you could have a couple of your old teammates come back and maybe do 5 minutes, like what Leeds have done in the past.
Or play at the stadium where you've plied your trade for 10 years.
All that, yeah, that'd be
All
nice.
that, yeah.
Let's not get onto the SMC, but
No, look, a lot of Rovers fans, and rightly so, would like to try and wind up about it. The ultimate thing that comes out of it, regardless of all the banter of surely you can afford it now because you're the real rich club and you've got this money and all that rubbish, the end of the day is it means more money in Fash's pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the aim of a testimonial for any player when when a club wants to give them a testimonial. So, all right, you'll take some stick over it, but the point being is the target will have been achieved in terms of giving Fash more money towards his probably imminent retirement, not this year maybe, but soon, and that's part of a testimonial.
the thing is as well, if you have a testimonial at the MKM, you need 5,000 fans there before you even break even on paying the rent for the game. It's the same with you guys. Like it worked out better for you guys to play at our stadium because you knew that as soon as you hit 5,000, you broke even. Then 20 odd thousand that you'll get above that, that's all profit. So you're never going to get that even at your own stadium.
And as well, it's different. I think, and this is no disrespect to Fash, but certain players, when they do get testimonials, do attract the big crowds that make people, even in the off-season, think about buying tickets. You was going to struggle to hit that mark because it wasn't somebody that, I can't give a better example in the team, but it wasn't maybe like Danny Oughton, for example.
Well, the last one for me where I saw like big in a testimonial, I think was Orney.
Yeah, I think we played you guys. We drew like 15,000 fans that day. But that was, yeah.
Yeah, look, I've sidetracked. It was the right decision, is what I was saying.
Yeah, it looked like a decent turnout there. Hopefully some money in his back pocket, which is what testimonials are about at the end of the day. But all in all, I know we've got down here just to touch on pre-season. I've felt it's coming out of the club, I felt it's been relatively quiet, news-wise, compared to last season. There was a lot of noise made around us last year. The club itself was making a lot of noise, and rightly so. They needed to try and get fans back on side. But this year, I felt like I've seen bits and bobs on YouTube, and I don't know what's been said on social media and things like that, but it does feel a lot quieter, like they've reined everything in, and it has just been heads down, getting on with the job.
I think the difference between the two is this season it's just a lot of positivity. I don't think anyone's disappointed with any of the signings.
Nope.
We've coming off the back of what was for us, especially after the couple of years prior, was a very good season. Last season it was a lot of positivity and a lot of sort of positive vibes going into the season, but there was an air of like holding back a bit. We had signings like obviously Abdul, which didn't go to plan, but people were questioning that from the minute he signed. Hardacre, no one last season, I don't care. I mean, I was excited about the potential, but I can't say I was excited completely. I wasn't completely invested in it because you never knew what you were going to get. But now this season, it's different. Do you know what I mean? So
Even Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar as well. Like when you
that.
look at the ages of the players that we were signing, there was everyone was holding back a bit, and there was still a lot of crap really coming from the year previous. Well,
we all had that fresh in the minds, didn't we? Whereas we're coming into this season with buoyed by what we've seen last season, the improvements throughout the club on and off the pitch, and this year, I just want to see that steady rate of progression again. I don't think it'll be as severe. Like we had a massive jump last year, no doubt about it. It was a huge jump, and that jump won't be as big this year, but a steady rate of progression this year.
Look, what's really nice about it, please take this in the way it's intended, which is positive, is FC were becoming a little bit in danger of becoming a bit of a Warrington. It was always your year, and it did feel like that. And I know we don't like to put much credit into what goes around social media, but the last few years there always seems to be one outspoken FC player that has to make a comment around "we are top 4 quality" or "we're not here to languish behind, we are challenging," and
we'll never lose a derby whilst I play for the club.
Yeah, and all those things, in hindsight, they're always great to go back and laugh about when you're not well, especially when you're red and white, or if you're not an FC lover, or you're not, you know, another team. But you was almost falling into that, especially in, again, say we don't pay a lot of credit to it, but in social media of, that's FC again, they always think they're a massive club, but they haven't done anything for 7-8 years, so on. And the fact that this year you've quietly gone about your business, made astute signings, and you're building on a successful season, actually take the quiet social media style that has been approached as a real positive, which I think you two are, and I'd urge other FC fans to and say, let your performance on the field and your results in 6 months' time do the talking.
Just quietly going about our business.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure, well, me and you were attending the Fans Forum on Wednesday the 28th, so 2 days from
now. The day
now.
that this comes out, hopefully.
Yeah, so I'm sure things will be said then and we'll hear a lot more. But, just...
So just quickly on that then, so obviously we're talking about this curve that whole FC are on at the moment, this improvement trajectory, shall we say. Obviously there was a massive improvement last season. This season, what's an improvement for you guys, bearing in mind that the playoffs are now 8 places?
Above 7th.
Just anything, just a high league position.
6 or above.
Yeah. Like if I actually said this to a Wigan fan yesterday on the flight home, because I got asked a similar question, like, will you be happy if you make the playoffs this year? And I said no, dependent. I said because you can make the playoffs by finishing 8th, and that's lower than we finished last year, so no, I won't be happy with that. You've got to strive to improve on last year, and just getting in the playoffs this season it's a bit of a twisted way of marking improvement, because you can do worse and still get playoffs.
Yeah,
so
RFL in it. But
I mean, it makes sense to put it up to 8 when you've got
14
more teams. Yeah,
absolutely.
Have you seen anything from the training camp the other week?
Yes, you sent me a video.
Did you
And I
watch that
watched it,
video?
yes.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know, have you
responsible.
I'm
guys?
glad I was sat down for that revelation.
Have you guys seen the video LFC
I have
released?
not.
No. So went on training camp up in North Yorkshire. I think it was the first time the full group has been properly together. I know because we've had a staggered players have been introduced at staggered times this season, unlike last season. Obviously with a lot of players having operations, things like that, and they released a video about 7 or 8 minute long, wasn't it? And first time when I watched this video, I thought, I'm not liking what I see here. All I saw was the team dicking about, but you can look at that another way and think,
Was it highlights of the 2024 season?
no, it was the team
Different kind of dicking about.
dicking about in a swimming pool. Will Price been
Introduced like a boxer.
Introduced like a
and then thumping
boxer.
the hell out of
He is a
bag.
fun guy though, he's a jokey guy anyway, isn't he? His
but
personality.
I was thinking, I want to see a bit of business. Second half of the video, all business.
Yeah, no,
And then when I'd finished watching the video, I was like, I like that blend. We've got everyone in the group when there's having a dick about, when it's time to have a dick about and have a laugh and have a joke. But when it's time to get down to business, everyone again is getting down to business and pulling in the right direction. And I like that. When Pricey was fucking about and he was the centre of it all, everyone else was around having a laugh. Every other player was there having a laugh. But when they was getting down to business and John Asiata had a camera on his chest, everyone was there, focused, getting down to business, and I was like, I like that. 2 good sides of it. So it just looks like the team is as one in both sides of it, the business and having a laugh and a joke, which you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm happy. I watched it, and I don't know how long we've got left on this, but I watched it and I instantly thought to myself, I'd have an headache in about 10 seconds if I was there. You know, it was like 2 stag parties got together and just went hell for leather, just trying to have as much banter and just wind each other up, or not like in a bad way, but like in a good way, and just egg each other on. And they were all like, yeah, and then like the other side were like, yeah, go on. You had the older boys there, the younger boys there, and I'm just like, I'm looking at people like Asiata and Caesar and thinking, they're around my a little bit younger than us. How are you keeping up with that? Like,
but there was
David
all
Litton.
involved.
Because what I mean by the 2 stag parties is because you've got the older boys and the younger boys. And imagine if we went on a stag now and we bumped into a load of people, even Susan's age, with all their energy, and we're like, I'm off to bed.
Please don't tie me with your free agents.
You use the word two stag do's, but it wasn't. There was all as one. It was as a group.
I mean, because they were all hyper and there was an age difference. That's what.
There's no separation in the group by the looks of it, and that's great to see. So,
So do you mean it was like a bit before we started this podcast where us three are bantering around and Dean sat there like,
10 minutes ago, yeah.
We got Aidan Caesar and then the fun people.
Will Young.
This is a real random comparison, but I think you've been on a stag do with me like this. When people have stag do's, when blokes get married, and you get people from all ages and walks of life, and people's uncles and dads and people come on, and there's a bit of a divide because you've got a bit of an older group and we don't really mesh. But when you go on a stag do, like we have several times with friends that work on rigs, where there are these ages where all of a sudden you do feel like one solid group. There's a difference, I think.
I can't remember the name of the guy, the one that came with us on Robin's stag, the older fella.
Well, there was a couple that was there's Roscoe was a great guy, and I knew someone new, but they have a different thing because they spend 2 and 3 weeks at a time on rigs in the North Sea together. Their age becomes irrelevant, and then they go on to a stag do together, and you all sort of mesh together. And it did have a different vibe to be like, this doesn't feel like we've got 3 40 and 50-year-olds with a bunch of 28-year-olds or whatever it was. I think that's what you're describing, is it didn't feel like 2 separate groups.
Yeah,
there
definitely.
I hope he watches this, by the way, because he hates being called by his second name.
Yeah, I know, doesn't. I don't think he's a fan of me either. So.
Win-win.
Fair enough. We will mention it because we've got it written down. Salford, we've drawn them in the cup.
Yeah.
Thrilled about that. You know, when you...
I was looking forward to playing Hammersmith, genuinely going somewhere I've never been before.
Out of the two, I didn't want to go down to London.
Salford's...
But I've just, going by your fixture, it's easy just to turn it around now and play at home. I wish we'd have... I was hoping when we was getting these fixtures where you're playing a lower league team away, I was hoping that we'd maybe grab an Halifax or a Barrow, somewhere where... Whitehaven. Somewhere...
God, I hate that place.
We haven't been as Hull fans for years. Yet we've been to Featherstone, where we've been God knows how many times to play York Acorn, and now we're going to Salford, where we've been for the God knows how many years in a row.
Featherstone? Who were they?
Played York there.
You played York Acorn then?
I'm referring to the fact that they're not involved anymore, are they?
It'll come up in the news section.
Oh, don't be that.
Come on.
Don't be like that. I didn't get it. It went straight over my head.
You're only little, innit?
Yeah, so... That's
these FC boys turning on each other already.
That's it, and it's good. It's great.
We've been doing it for 36 years. Why change now?
Why change the habit of a lifestyle? Wigan away on Sunday. Liam Marshall's testimonial. I don't think he will, playing anybody who's not fully fit. Just
he said, hasn't he?
I think he said in paper. I haven't fully read the article. I had a glance over it.
We're not risking anyone, but we're going to be as near to where we need to be in terms of strength.
Fair enough.
So.
I'd expect good numbers for that game.
Yeah, again, back to that point you made about some players attract more of a crowd. Marshall, he's won it all. He's played at the top level. He's played international. So yeah,
people have been starved of rugby, haven't they, since the Ashes series, and we're very close to the season now, and it's going to be played, I presume, at DW, whatever it's called now, the Brick. And maybe would I be over the top saying I'd like to think maybe you might get 6, 7, 8k there?
I'd say
that's
pretty,
a realistic,
pretty accurate, realistic guess. Yeah.
I think there's potential that he might get that just out of them as well, without even including however many, maybe a couple of 100 Hull fans that might go across.
I'd hope he gets a good turnout anyway. Deserves it. He's been
if you think from a Wigan viewpoint, 100%. So anyway, are we done?
We're done because we're getting waved at. Yeah,
shooed at. Yeah. Right. All right. So I got 5 minutes for this, but it won't take that long. But it does deserve it. I
remember Rachel saying that at one point.
What have you been doing with Rachel?
He might have peaked in episode 1. That was phenomenal.
Still got that stupid spoon in front of you. So we've had someone's come along and given us a bit of an idea and backed us with it. What we're going to do is, because at the end of last season we kind of said, right, if you want to get your name advertised at the bottom of the screen, or your company or whatever, you can get in touch and we'll tell you how much it costs and we'll put it, and you know, it helps us, it helps you as a business. Someone's come across and they've put forward some funding for us to give back to the community. So what we want you to do as listeners, as viewers, is reach out to us on social. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, even just
Catches at a game.
Yeah, even if you bump into one of us, put forward your cause, put forward your reason, and what we'll do, so we'll have a look through each month and we'll say, right, that's the cause that we're going to back this month. We'll put it on the bottom of the screen, it won't cost you a penny, and what we will do is for each cause that gets submitted that we select, we're going to give 50 quid towards. So it could be, I don't know, Susan's going to do an handstand walk from one stadium to another. We think it's great. He's doing it for this charity or whatever.
I'd see that.
Like, no, anything that you want. Or, you know, you've got a kids rugby team that needs some balls. There you go. We'll put some money your way to help pay for balls or whatever kit you need. It's not a lot, but it's better than now for a start. And it's just our way of trying to give back, because we could have just took it and said, yeah, all right, yeah, we'll run with it, that's great, we'll have some money for us, but we don't want to be that podcast. We're not in it for the money. We want to help people like who are listening to us. So
I think coming from, obviously you referred to the like amateur game about buying equipment and stuff. We know we've all played the amateur game. You know, at Lambeth we struggled for equipment and kit for quite a lot of the time. So
you know, one thing that we did struggle for, I think a lot, and I think a lot of teams do struggle, is lighting for training. You know, finding somewhere where you can train in the winter that's got adequate lighting. And it's only 50 quid, but that 50 quid might get you 2 or 3 or maybe 4 training sessions with the lights on. And that can make a difference for, you know, whether a kid decides whether they want to go to rugby or not go to the rugby, or whether a men's team gets to train, you know, decent and, you know, win a game. You know, it can be the difference between a win and a loss sometimes,
absolutely.
getting that training in. So, yeah, put your causes forward.
doesn't just have to be rugby, we'll say that.
Yeah, it doesn't just have to be rugby either, yeah, it could be anything. And we'll have a look and
Sounds good.
we'll see. And we'll start that from, yeah, we'll do it each month from February for 10 months. So, that's that. Talk about Rovers.
Yeah, we'll try and follow a bit of the formula you set up and try and cover some of the similar points. There's obviously been a long time between being on here, and we can't talk about everything, but we'll talk about the friendly first. So obviously we played Wakefield ourselves at weekend just gone. I think I read a line that summed it up perfectly, which was Wakey put out a strong team in the first half that was too strong for the Rovers Academy reserves and a couple of new faces, but both teams sort of put a good showing in. As you said, Dean, the score's always irrelevant.
You both got what you wanted to get from it,
I think,
by the sounds of
you
it.
know, we at least we came away. I know Wakey wasn't as lucky, but we came away injury free, and some players got to have a run out. I think that it's always nice to see those reserves and youngsters that have managed to sort of keep in. I don't know, Craig, if you've got anything on it. The 3 names that I read that really impressed, despite it being a friendly, was that Broadbent really impressed. I mean, he did play in the halves, but obviously it's a guy who, it's one of those weird names that hangs around your team. He's always in your 17, but when you put a team on paper, he isn't the best 17 in Rovers squad, but yet somehow there's always a position, and so when is he going to earn that respect and say, of course he is?
Yeah, he's just it for ages. He's your whiting.
He's done that all his career though, hasn't he? Everywhere he's been.
He's an auxiliary, he can go anywhere, and so he impressed. Bill Leyland, someone that is putting his hand up and saying, yeah, you might have signed someone from Oz that can play hooker, but you know, he got himself a meat pie, really impressed. And then also as well, Frankie Daylove,
yeah, that was
who was one of the ones who've been touted about for a few years, Rovers books, and what was good, says a little bit tongue-in-cheek maybe, but it's not meant to be that way, is that it's good to see our academy players and players that are coming through our academy playing well and impressing and getting good write-ups, because we know we won the treble last year. We know we did it without a lot of homegrown stars. I've always said it's a long process. You recruit well, you know, you get good training facilities, you get good investment in coaches and financial investment, and then you build long term, and then you make your academy good. It's good to see that even in the first friendly of the year, we're still giving those players time and they're impressing to show that we've come a long way from being one of the poorer academies.
From both sides as well, that first friendly, it's a sort of a reward for these young kids, these reserve players, these academy players, because they've been in training since day dot. They was there day one of pre-season, so they've earned their right to have a run out, and both teams this weekend give them kids a run out by the looks of it. So
yeah, and I always seem to, from all accounts, I wasn't there, but by all accounts, we seem to have stood up and took it to Wakefield. A few things that Peter's alluded to was the last tackle plays where we switched off and scored a couple of last tackle tries, which sort of took the game away from us. And because obviously, academy level to Super League level, it's vastly different. You know, the skill quality and the decision making is a lot different. It's a lot higher. Obviously, that's why they're playing in the top level. So, you know, plenty to work on, and that's what with these should be about, is learning. You know, they're not going to get many opportunities throughout the season, but looking at it, they look like they'll be able to slide straight in if needed, come off the bench or anything like that, or even be 18th man, be around the squad, get a taste for that match day feel. You know, it's just all experience, isn't it, at that age? So, yeah, very pleased. Obviously, results are irrelevant. Look at last year, we lost to York in Amsterdam, so, and then we obviously went on to win the treble.
it's not about results.
No, definitely not.
It is getting minutes into legs, dusting off some cobwebs, and that's
Yeah, good to see the new boys out there as well, and like I say, none of them seem to have disappointed, so obviously we ain't got a fixture this week. Our next game will be on the 6th, I think.
Is it the cup? Is that your next fixture?
Against
the cup game now?
Yeah, so I'll touch on that briefly and then we'll come back to some of the new signings as you moved on to it. So obviously, Challenge Cup, we've got Loch Lane. I've seen a lot of discourse on social media around this. It will be played at Craven Park now. Some Loch Lane fans, maybe some fans that are not Loch Lane fans, just like to be on social media, not really understanding how the world works and claiming it definitely should have been at, I know I always get the names wrong, but it should have been at the Jungle. And they'd sell it out and they'd earn loads of money. And not really realising that, alright, people's opinion on this and you guys pitching, I think, Jimmy, I know your opinion on it, I don't disagree, but it's not great that you're meant to be at home and now you're going away. The fact that Rovers are doing this, just like they did when they allowed West Hull to play Saints there last year, it means that 100% of the money that's made goes into Loch Lane's pocket. And when you can predict and attract at least potentially 5,000 fans, it means that not only does the club make a bit of money, they'll open bars, etc., and a bit of food stalls, but at the same time, you can support a club for sometimes longer than 12 months. The money that Loch Lane will make from this fixture, which they've got, let's not be rude about it, but what, a 1 to 5% chance of winning? Is that being too polite to them to play a Super League club that are treble winners last year? Doesn't matter. They're going to make money that's going to support their club for the following 12 months. And this is, rather than look at it in a negative light and say, this is rubbish, it should definitely be in Castleford, or it should be at Loch Lane's ground where you can get 400 people stood around a muddy field. It should be, well, actually, here's a Super League giant giving back to community rugby, and he's supporting a men's team and club, not just the adults team that's in the plane, but also the rest of the teams for 12, 24 months going down the line.
That money's going to filter down through the system at Loch Lane. I'd have liked to have seen it at Cass. I'd have liked to have seen it at Featherstone.
Just to be clear on that, they would have had to pay if it was at Castleford, unless Castleford turned around and said, we'll front the money.
Which they're not going to do.
No.
I don't know how it's working at your place, but I would imagine, I don't know, maybe Rovers will say, right, you take the ticket sales, we take the food to cover the costs. You know, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it did with West Hull last year. There was some proceeds ended up going to West Hull, and they vastly underestimated how many people would turn up. They won't make that mistake this year. I doubt it'll be as big as the West Hull game, because that was a local club. However, it might balance out the fact that it's Rovers. I don't know, but we'll see. But it is, look, I'm not just trying to praise Rovers here. It's a good thing, and other clubs should do it. And unfortunately, we're not Premiership football. We can't just turn around and say, can't believe Man U have pulled, I don't know, out the bag. You know, Belton Wanderers that play in Bolton, you know, they have, you know, none of them are professionals and they all play Sunday League and they've pulled them in the FA Cup. So Man U have stepped forward and said you can play at our training ground, which does seat 4,000 people. Yeah. We don't have that luxury. So let's see it as a positive.
And the chances are, playing at your place, playing it in Cass, there'll have been maybe 2,000-3,000 there. You would have took 1,500, 2,000. There'd have been a lot lane and a few scragglers around from Cass. Whereas this, there's a chance that you'll have 5,000 home fans there, which is more going into their pocket at the end of the day. So, and that's what it's about, because they're not going to win the fixture. So the next best thing is
Famous last words.
give off
Oldham
a head.
2016.
They're never going to beat you. Never. They've got no chance.
Just
Craig.
you wait till you get to my pick at the end of this podcast for Challenge Cup champions this year.
Salford.
Is that Hammersmith? Oh, no, they're out.
So just jump back a tiny bit then while we're talking about them. Just want to quickly touch on some of our new signings. Rovers have kind of made a few actually, but not many big name ones because we had quite a steady squad. But we've made quite a few that'll flirt around the first team, I believe, and some that we're looking for the future. The first one probably being the biggest one that will make the 17 most weeks, which is Carl Lawton. I know a lot more about his brother, who spent a lot of time at the Titans in the NRL. I don't know much about Carl, and he is a bit of a wait-and-see player for me. Few highlights from the NRL, not made that many appearances. We do always, as we say, trust in what Willie Peters does. But he got some minutes and impressed as you can in a friendly on Sunday, so he is, for me, a big wait-and-see player. Can't ask for much more.
Decent minutes last year, though, didn't he? Decent.
Yeah, it was 2024. He didn't really get much of a sniff, and then I think, anyways, correct me if I'm wrong, and then last season he did play a few more games last season. So he's got that season of NRL experience under his belt. He's come here, he's had a near enough full pre-season.
It's a bit of a full utility. He has got hooker,
I was going to say, where do you think
second row.
he'll fit in?
Second row, I think.
I think he's a second row as well, I agree. But then it might be spelling with Mini and he goes to loose, and we'll see what happens there. Quick one, Jordan Desiree. He's previously impressed me, so I'm curious to see how he progresses. Not saying he's a well-beat or anything, but I think he's an astute addition to the squad, so he's another one. Then there's Declan Murphy. You know, this isn't my words, these are words that were coming last year from Salford of like, this is a superstar. This is one that Salford didn't want to lose despite their troubles, and we just happened to pounce on him first. You know, a lot of people wanted him, and we happened to get him. The one that I wanted to just focus on, I think he deserves a shout out, is Tom Whitehead, who we signed from Wire. He's one of the few players that Peters has made specific comments about in the off-season and just the last couple of weeks, that he has forced a change of plan in what we was going to do with him because of how much he's impressed in pre-season. So he was going out on loan, and now he's not. So he's impressed that much that it looks like he's going to be a frequent 23 match day squad, so maybe in the training, maybe doesn't always make the 18, will get some games. I'd expect to see him in a lot of Challenge Cup fixtures if we progress through the early rounds and get some lower league teams. But it's a big shout out to him to come in, because he's up against some tough people there to be impressing. You know, a young lad, and for Peter to turn around and say you're not going on loan anymore, you know, he's obviously shuffling someone else out of position. So good shout him. But they're sort of the four ones I've got my eye on that are new signings.
I'm looking forward to see. He's obviously already established in the rugby league well, but Tom Amon, see how he fits in with the current crop of forwards that we've got, you know. And Elliot Minchella came out and said, I'm glad he's on my team now because he was horrid to play against. And I just hope he can sort of find that Lee Leopards form that he had in 2024, was it, when he was there. So I'm interested to see how he goes, but we always are with new signings that way. We want to see how they're going to fit in, how they're going to blend with the squad and whatnot. So hopefully,
yeah, I think he's my only caveat. So they're the four. With Adamo, I've got a separate line from just say, look, he's had an injury, a hand injury, a couple of dislocated or broken fingers. There is generally no worry about that. They're just fingers. It's just, what is the point of rushing around and trying to make him play or do extra training when the reality is there's a couple of weeks to get better. There's nothing to worry about despite some of the media reports. And if he comes and he's a big belter like he has been in the past, there'll be a massive addition to us.
Couple of paracetamol, bit of strapping, crack on like you're a prop forward.
It always confuses me. I know we all do it, and I've done it in the past. I think I've broken nearly every finger I've got. But you look at broken fingers in rugby, where it's a sport where you need your hands to hold the ball, and you think, nah, sod it, I can crack on. And then you get footballers, I've sprained my wrist, out for 3 weeks. Like,
my only advice to him, if he'll take it, is don't dislocate the same finger 5 times in a row in the same game. Repeatedly put it back in, carry on playing, and then destroy your knee
10 minutes later.
And end up sitting here now in pain as I'm talking to you because it still hurts.
So you hurt your knee by dislocating your finger?
Yeah, it's mad. That's how strong my fingers are.
He was doing a handstand walk.
I dislocated my thumb 3 times in training one week, and got told I needed
That's mad for a water boy.
Yeah, no. It was
What
every
balls were
ball,
every-
really
Yeah,
every ball.
yeah.
Got told by a surgeon that I needed to replace the ligament, and he told me I was going to do it, and I was like, "Nah, you're all right." And now it pops out whenever it wants.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Just pop, pop.
Couple of final points before I wrap up then. I wanted to touch on our training camp as well. You know, you guys mentioned yours, so I'll try and keep some parallels. I mentioned this on Humberside the other night when I was on the Sport Hour, but I'd like to repeat it here. We had a great training camp out in Tenerife, somewhere we've been for a number of years now. We had Tommy Coyle out there doing a bit of boxing, but there was particular articles that the journalist Matt Shaw was putting on Love Rugby League. They were a real good insight into the mentality, the attitude, the paddle game battles they had, and champion stays on, winner stays on, and all this, and just to show that how much the team was bonding, but how hard the training was. And you know, they did have the rest days, and we did have a few beers and that, but they also had the very hard sessions. And you know, you was talking about that video that FC shared. There's probably been some good social media engagement from Rovers, but not in that vein of a long 8-minute video. But all reports say really, really good step forward from last year, even of new players joining the team, and obviously players like Whitehead being able to go out into a new squad of big characters and say, I deserve a space here, don't send me on loan. So if you want to go back and read them on Love Rugby League, I say every time, I'm not sponsored by them, and we don't get any money from them. I just think
I'm starting to question it.
I just think it's the best rugby league news website, but they were good articles.
Yeah, one way that's come out of pre-season for me, you mentioned about like the fun side of things and everybody fitting in, is intensity. We spoke about it a lot last season. We had that intensity from the off, and when players like Carl Lawton and you know people like Tom Whitehead who have played at Warrington are coming out and are saying that's the most intense pre-season I have ever done, and it's the most physical pre-season I've ever done, just speaks volumes for why we were so good last season.
Yep, absolutely. So last minute, I'm going to ask all 3 of you a quick question just for your opinion on it. We haven't got long, so no long answers, please. The biggest sort of news doing the rounds about Rovers at the minute is that obviously with Sean Wayne leaving in as the England head coach, there seems to be more and more news articles every week on that Willie Peters is almost a favourite. Sam Burgess in the mix, there's a couple of other names as well, but this week, you know, Peters has made some comments that make it sound like he would be interested. The reality is, he would be a very good choice. He's obviously a very good coach and he knows his rugby league really well. Forgetting how close the World Cup is, forgetting what's happened previously, just very quickly, what would be your opinion on Willie Peters, head coach for England?
He's one of the best coaches in the league. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, from an England
He
fan.
gets Super League, so he knows the Super League players. So we can't go getting someone from the NRL. We can't go getting someone. We have to get someone who knows our league, our players, because we've got such a short turnaround to that World Cup. So the likes of a Peters or a Burgess, someone like that, is a must.
Yeah, from an England fan viewpoint, it's like, yeah, get him in. Without a doubt, you know, what he did last season was incredible, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Rovers fan. But from a Rovers fan's point of view, I'd like him solely to be focused on Rovers.
That echoes man, I'd have to say it.
So yeah, I'm a bit split.
I'm in for it. Mainly, 1, because he's a fantastic coach, and 2, because it might take a little bit of focus off Rovers and you might not win the treble again. So I'm happy.
Fair.
Magic, well, thank you. That was the Rovers bit, so cheers, see you all later.
Also,
Bye.
before anyone says it, I don't give a toss if he's Australian. It's all about who's the best coach. I don't need an English coach.
Yeah.
It will get said. I know for a fact someone will say it.
Bragging Rights is proudly sponsored by Comscaf. Hull's own Comscaf have been keeping things safe and steady for over 30 years, providing professional scaffolding services nationwide. If you need a team you can trust for your next project, big or small, head to comscaf.co.uk or give them a call on 01482 782 181.
That'd explain tonight.
He's disappeared again.
It's not me this time.
Houdini.
That Dini.
Good that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Dean Deeney.
Yeah.
Too far. Okay.
Troy Deeney played for Watford. Did play for Watford, but please if I got
He
that
did
right.
play for Watford, yeah, you are
for
correct.
a long time.
He scored one of the best playoff goals you'll ever see, but anyway, I digress.
So welcome to the football hour.
We ain't got an hour.
Wait there, what football? Patriots? No?
I'm happy.
Can we
Yeah,
move
you're
on?
happy.
Yeah, I don't know what section we're on, that's why I can't move us
Oh,
on.
it's news by Josh.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why I scribble mine out as we go along.
Let's run through quickly and
Shuffle your paper, it's the news.
Yeah, let's get some quick points in. News from around the rugby league world then. One of the big ones to come out of the last sort of 7 days, I would say, is that there's been changes going forward to the dual registration process that happens for Super League, Championship.
bin.
Yeah, and Championship 1 clubs. And by changes, Craig's correct, in the bin. So
Ridiculous.
now,
For
what
how
will
long?
happen is that teams will no longer be able to partner up with another team in a lower league or a higher league if you're coming from the lower leagues. What the RFL are saying is that this new approach, and this is their words, not my own, will increase players' opportunities of taking the field. So they're hoping this will give players more chance to play more rugby and perhaps play at a higher level, get in the shop window, stretch themselves, develop more and so on. What will now happen basically is that rather than having a back and forth with your partner club, what will happen is that you'll be able to have one partner club that you're limited to, and up to 4 players per week can be used to go to that club. And after the 7 days, the short-term quote-unquote loan ends and they return back. And it's almost a very short-term loan system, and it'll be capped at the 4 players.
Is it the same 4 players every week?
No, but your 4 players can change, and you can make the same play. From my understanding, you can say, right, Tom Whitehead is going on loan, he's going to Castleford, or he's going to a low league team, he's going to Halifax, he's going to whoever, he's going to Salford, and after the week's up, he comes back and you turn around and go, you're going back again. But he can't stay there for 2 weeks, he has to return. Whether he actually has to drive up the M62 and then drive back again.
That'd be so RFL, wouldn't it, if they had to do that?
Has to physically come back onto, I don't know, but
You go down loan to
I thought you
Whitehaven.
could do a month loan.
and look, I'm just going, I've got this quick snapshot. I don't think it's been well explained. I want to look into it more. It's classic RFL. It's 2 weeks before the start of the
Well, that's
season.
why I said
and
it's
they're changing
ridiculous, because it's so close to the start of the season. Why are we not... I know why we are, because it's the RFL. Why are we not doing something like this back end of last season, finish of the season? Right, going into next year, before you start pre-season, this is what's going to happen.
Do you think the RFL just get together around a table, all dressed in their shiny armour?
I'll
I think they do
I'll
that.
stop you now. I don't think they get around the
I
table.
just think they have a
Well,
WhatsApp
they don't
call.
use Zoom, do they? Because they're all fucking dinosaurs. They don't know how to do anything. They get round a table. I'm not referring to age either. I'm just referring to the fact that they're so like
Out of touch with
with reality.
rugby, yeah.
Get around a table and look and think, season starts soon. No one's been talking about rugby league for a little bit. Fuck it, let's do something. What should we do? That one. Like what's his face off
roll
Little
the
Britain?
dice.
Just sat around a table going, I want that one. That one. What are we going to fuck with today? That one.
If you use free, we have to pay for the likeness, so don't go again. On that note, because I want to move us through news quite quickly, my apologies, but we are time poor today. The RFL are still currently undergoing their search for a new CEO right now. That kicked off last week, so people think they can do better.
Oh, yeah,
People
Jimmy
don't wanna do
Watkins
it.
available.
Yeah, James Watkin. But yeah, so we might find somebody new in charge, probably mid-season, probably will come in with their own idea, and we'll probably see more changes in the middle of the league as well. So
I
let's see
reckon
what happens
someone
there.
at the RFL is just going to go on LinkedIn and scroll down and go, that one.
It won 3 in a row, all right.
Don't write in with your charitable or your local club donations. We've just lost the £50 we now have to pay to Darren Williams. Matt Lucas. 2 more points to get through. I'll save the one for last. That shouldn't be new news, but I think it's worth talking about. But this one quickly. Featherstone Rovers have been denied entry to the 2026 Championship. They had financial issues last year. They also had a risk of going to administration. They did, then they didn't, but they'd already gone in. They basically missed the deadline for the governance criteria they had to hit, and the RFL have come down with an iron fist and said, you missed it, that's the end of it, no excuses. They will not be able to compete in the Challenge Cup or the Championship this year. The RFL have committed to supporting them going forward and to make sure they come back as a professional or semi-pro rugby league side, but right now Featherstone Rovers are in pretty dire straits. So
I mean, it's
not
good. It's good to see the RFL taking this iron fist role, because otherwise you have people taking a piss out of the sport all the time. But like if it was a club like Leeds, Bradford, FC, KR, you know, one of the bigger clubs, especially Bradford, who the RFL have bailed out numerous times, would there be the same stance that we're seeing because it's Featherstone?
I think it is similar to the Salford situation for me in that I've got no love for Featherstone. I had no love for Salford. But what I do care about is the fact that throughout all of this, the only people that really get, aside from the people that might not get paid the wages, the people that really suffer are the fans.
Yeah.
You know, someone's made some shitty business decisions, and now you've got a couple of thousand, however many thousand fans they get every week that have got fuck all to do on a weekend.
Not great, not good.
Which is massive for a lot of people, which leads into Craig's section.
It will do if we didn't have one more news section.
Have we got one more?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, that would have been a good
Segue.
Good segue.
segue, yeah.
No,
Ruined
of all the news stories over the last 8, 9, 12 weeks of I been here, one that was back in December, but we aren't going to pass on without talking about it, was Kevin Sinfield's latest charitable work that he did, which was his latest 7 in 7, so, you know, 7 ultramarathons in 7 days. Ultramarathon has to be at least 28 miles to count. He obviously smashed them, a lot of famous faces, but just another big push on the money for M&D, you know, another 1.15 million raised, and forgetting what everyone knows about Kevin Sinfield, the player, or even as the rugby union coach and everything that he does, what that guy's doing for what was his best mate won't be the first time or the last time I sat on this podcast. We will not miss a chance to big him up, talk about it and say get behind it. It's probably, in my lifetime of watching rugby league, I think it's the most important cause, or the cause that's made me the most passionate. You know, I went and ran a marathon for M&D, the first one that we had in Leeds, because I felt that passionate about it. Just because, even as a Rovers fan, Rob Burrow was that instrumental in our game and taught people what you can do at any size or shape in our great sport. And Kevin Sinfield is not letting this go. He's not letting it lie and he's not letting it go away. What the man's doing is phenomenal, and it's worth shouting about and praising every time it happens, because he doesn't do it for him, doesn't do it for the accolades, doesn't do it for the praise, he doesn't do it for the media attention. He does it for what he can do for M&D and for finding a cure. And that is, of everything that's happened, for all the stuff we've slagged off today and all the stuff we'll talk about in the next 12 months, there won't be many things more important than what he's doing and what he's trying to sort out there. You can move on now.
Thanks. Can you segue that in, Jim?
I'm literally sat here thinking how to, but no, we can't. But it is another great cause. So
it is, and it's one that's close to, especially my heart. I'm not very open about this sort of stuff, so bear with me here. I don't know about you guys, but this pod for me has been massive for my mental health. It's a massive thing at the moment, is men's mental health. You know, we live in a society where men shouldn't feel sad, shouldn't feel down, or that's what people think. But it's important to talk, you know. And this pod for me has been huge. It's helped me massively. I've struggled massively with mental health in the past, still do at times. So yeah, it's just about talking to people, talking to your mates. Even if it's just a conversation, you don't have to talk about what the problem is. Just have a conversation. Just talk to them, you know, and you might find it helps. You know, we're all here. We've all got open inboxes if you need us. And obviously, the high-profile one for people in the rugby league world recently is Jordan Abdul. I think it's been quite widespread. You know, the videos of him online and the weight that he's put on the photos and stuff. Yeah, he's come out and he's basically said, this is what happened. He's laid all his cards on the table, and fair play to the man, because I wouldn't have been able to do it, I don't think. So to be able to go through all that, go through obviously his weight issues, which he's obviously had a severe battle with, and then still be able to get out on a rugby pitch is just phenomenal for me.
So the point on that is obviously we want people to talk up, we want people to feel like they can. It's massive at the minute, especially, you know, with men's mental health. Jordan Abdul, a man that's had his ups and downs in his career and has been sharing very bravely recently that at the lows of his career, feeling about taking his own life, or, you know, even making attempts at his own life when maybe he's fallen out of love with rugby and rugby's fallen a bit out of love with him. And it also yings and yangs with James Graham recently coming out and talking about his own mental health. So somebody that didn't fall out of love with the sport, my sport didn't fall out of love with him. Someone that has achieved everything that can be achieved in the game, yet in January, this year, so even this month, very recently, he spoke about the fact that he went and took a week's break where he checked into a mental health clinic to help with not just his mental health, but also his alcohol abuse, which was linked to his mental health problems. And he felt as though he couldn't tell people that's where he was going, so he pretended he was on holiday. And even to the point where they recommended 3 weeks, but he only stayed for 1 week and came back because he didn't want to miss his media duties, because he has a lot out in Oz now to do a rugby league. He has a podcast, he does commentary. And after a couple of weeks, he said, no, do you know what? And Will Swerve, he said, fuck that. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be strong and I'm going to tell people that, no, this is exactly where I went. This is exactly what I did. And this is what's happened. And something really resonated with me, and I want to mention this before we finish on this point, that when he disappeared for a week, one of his best friends, didn't say who it was, but one of his best friends that he'd been best friends with all his life, actually said to him, made him sit down and said to him, when you go on a bender, when you disappear for a couple of days, when I don't hear from you for a couple of days, I start to worry and panic about you. James Graham didn't know this, because James Graham was doing his own thing. Because he didn't realise the effect that he had, because his mates were seeing it and he wasn't willing to see it himself, or he wasn't able to see it himself. And it's so brave of someone that's that famous and in so much of the spotlight to come forward. And it just goes to show that anyone can suffer from mental health issues, and everyone needs a little help sometime. And we're here saying we're here to help, but we're saying that everyone is. So help a mate out, be there for a mate, go for a beer, have a chat, go for a coffee, do whatever. We want to seriously be on top of this, because it is, men's mental health and men's suicide in the UK particularly is actually a pandemic, and it's only gotten worse since COVID. And we don't want this to continue being worse, so we're part of hopefully trying to push to make things better for people. I feel very passionate about this.
I think from my perspective, similar to Craig, I've struggled. I went through the ringer about 10 years ago, mainly when I was getting diagnosed with MS, and he saw it all firsthand, and Dad saw it all, and a lot of family and friends pushed friends away, and I'm more open about it now. I said must have been about 4 or 5 months ago, I put a message in our group chat and said, anyone want to go for a beer, and I need to get out. But I think the main thing that we need to do is, it's not just about going out for a beer. Go out for a beer and talk. Don't just sit there and order a pint and just sup and chat about the football. Like, open up, genuinely open up about what you're doing, because just going out and having a beer doesn't fix anything. It just distracts you from what you got going on. So you just got to make sure that you're brave enough to talk about it.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And
I think as fans we have a responsibility as well. I know personally, don't know how many years ago it was now, but when Brett Seymour did what he did and tried to commit suicide, that really resonated with me at the time, because I kind of thought to myself as a fan, I'm like, fuck me, like, I'm a part of that. I used to rip him just as much as everyone else, and I've backed off massively since then about ripping into a player personally. Like, I've way backed off it. I'll F and Jeff and I'll scream and shout just as much as anyone else on the field, but I never ever aim any sort of personal sort of shit at a player. I think we need to wean that stuff out.
yeah, definitely, I agree with that. Dean, you got out? No, fair dues.
No, it's, yeah.
Good. What's
Yeah,
next?
good. That's it, I think, for this week.
Okay.
For that,
Well, we'll be back. We will be back, so I'll just say again, we'll be back with the Predictions League again. We'll talk about that in a bit of detail next week when we get to a point where it's set up again. We'll likely be Super Pro again, but we'll go into a bit more detail. And we'll be running the same comp, same thing where top scoring person gets to come on, be part of the podcast for an episode, and we'll go into all that detail next week ahead of the pre-season. We'll also probably dive into a bit more information on who our picks for Grand Final winner may be, Challenge Cup winner, what we all feel. We'll all come round the table and do that again.
Yeah, I think we're going to do our Grand Final, League Leaders Shield, Challenge Cup, Man of Steel and Young Player of the Year. So if you've got your opinions, throw them in. But we'll give you all ours, our 5 next week.
And hopefully I can get rid of this.
I hope not. Oh, we'll have word on his forfeit as well next week.
Watch this space.
I can't.
You all know it, but we'll give you details.
Yeah, in case you want to join in.
Okay.
It's Craig.
Oh yeah, it's me, yeah. So,
We got so much better at this.
I won't mind, it's written down in front of me in big letters as well. But yeah, once again, thanks to Comscaf for the sponsor. Thanks to Tribal for letting us DOS as we discussed at the beginning. Don't forget to share an episode with a mate who doesn't listen. You know, it helps us massively. Give us a like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I think that just about wraps us up, does it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to add from anybody else.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Episode 1
Right.
in the bag.
See you,
Has
bye.
started again.
Oh, God, yeah. You're not wrong.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.
See you, bye.